Have you ever wondered what truly unfolds in the heart and mind of someone when you suddenly give them space, not just a momentary pause, but a deliberate, complete withdrawal? What happens when you stop answering their calls, stop waiting for their attention, and instead step away like a silent force they never expected? This isn't about playing mind games or seeking petty revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your sense of self-worth in a world that often takes presence for granted. In Stoic Relationships, this act of stepping back reveals not only their true feelings, but also offers you clarity and control that many crave, but few master. The problem: too many people mistake space for disinterest or weakness, believing that if they pull away, they risk losing everything forever. They fear silence, the unknown, and the shadows where doubts grow wild. But what if this space you create could be the very catalyst for a profound awakening? What if walking away is less about abandonment and more about lighting a fire inside them to finally see what they've been blind to? The stakes are high: your emotional energy, your dignity, your future. The tension between holding on and letting go creates a pressure cooker that forces truth to the surface. So what are the 6 emotions they feel after you give them space? Why do these feelings compel them to come crawling back? And most importantly, how can understanding these responses transform how you approach boundaries, respect, and your own value in any relationship? Throughout this video, we'll dissect each emotional layer with the precision of stoicism and the empathy of a compassionate observer. You'll discover why their reaction is less about them and more about the dynamic you create through your absence. This isn't a journey for the faint-hearted. It's a powerful challenge to shift your perspective and take back control. As you stay with me until the very end, I'll reveal one priceless truth that could change the way you see yourself forever. Are you ready to unlock the secrets hidden in silence and absence, to understand how giving space can be your greatest strength and theirs the awakening? Let's dive in and explore the 6 things they feel after you give them space, and why they'll come crawling back. 1. Facing the mirror, self-reflection and reckoning. When you decide to give someone space, truly withdraw your presence in a way that is absolute and unwavering, you are not merely stepping away from their physical proximity or halting your usual patterns of communication. You are, in effect, handing them a mirror to face themselves. This mirror is unyielding and clear, reflecting not only their surface actions, but the deeper truths they've long avoided acknowledging. In Stoic Relationships, the value of such a mirror cannot be overstated because it forces the other person into a realm of introspection that few willingly enter. Have you noticed how often people take others for granted? Not out of malice, but out of comfortable habit. The presence of someone reliable becomes background noise, a steady rhythm so familiar it's barely noticed until it ceases entirely. When you pull away, the silence left behind is deafening. The absence of your presence ceases to be just physical and transforms into a psychological and emotional space they must fill, or more accurately, confront. This confrontation is their reckoning. It is a painful process because self-reflection often reveals failures, mistakes, and neglects that the ego desperately tries to shield. How often do they pause to consider their role in the dynamic? Did they appreciate the late-night talks, the emotional support, the consistent care? Or were they complacent, assuming your presence was guaranteed? The Stoics remind us that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Yet when the mirror you provide is so stark and undeniable, opinions and excuses fall away, exposing raw facts of neglect and unreciprocated effort. This mirror forces them to ask the hardest questions. Did I truly cherish this person while they were here? Was I fair in how I treated them? Could I have done more? It is a moment that shatters illusions, and though it may bruise the ego, it carries the seeds of genuine growth if embraced with courage. Do they have the strength to face these truths, or will they choose to retreat into denial and avoidance? This is a choice they must make alone. Meanwhile, you, the one who stepped back, hold your dignity and peace, embodying the Stoic ideal of self-mastery. Your absence becomes an unspoken lesson in accountability. By withdrawing, you do not seek to punish, you seek to preserve. You create the conditions where their internal dialogue can no longer be drowned out by the noise of your presence. Have you experienced this yourself? When was the last time you faced your own mirror, stood firmly in the uncomfortable light of your own shortcomings, and allowed that to transform your perspective? In the realm of Stoicism, such moments are invaluable, for they cultivate wisdom and resilience. It is not the easy path to reflection, but it is the necessary one for authentic change. Consider the ripple effect of your departure. Each memory, each neglected moment resurfaces like a pebble dropped in still water. Those ripples spread far beyond your immediate absence, forcing them to reconstruct a narrative of what they lost and why. Is it not intriguing how absence sharpens perception? When your presence was constant, they may have wandered unaware. Now, in your absence, clarity dawns. This clarity can bring regret, but more importantly, it can ignite transformation. In Stoic Relationships, transformation is the ultimate goal. Not to manipulate or control others, but to inspire growth through boundaries and self-respect. You become a catalyst for their awakening simply by choosing yourself. This self-reflection is not merely about them. It is a reflection on the nature of human connection itself. How often do we fail to recognize the value of what is consistently given to us? How often do we assume permanence in what is transient? The Stoics teach us that all things are temporary and that appreciation arises from recognizing this impermanence. Your withdrawal forces this recognition. It demands that they grapple with questions they have long postponed. What have I truly lost? Was I complicit in allowing this relationship to decay? The mirror does not lie, nor does it offer easy answers. It demands honesty and the courage to face consequences. You may wonder, does everyone react the same way when faced with such a mirror? No. Some will recoil, hardened by pride or fear, unable to accept responsibility, choosing instead to blame circumstances, timing, or even you. Others will embrace the discomfort, recognizing it as the fertile ground for growth and emotional maturity. This dichotomy is fundamental to Stoicism. The external event, your absence, is neutral. It is the interpretation and response that define the outcome. The real power lies in your understanding that their reckoning is theirs alone. You do not owe them forgiveness or validation. Your act of stepping away was not a punishment but an act of preservation. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Here, your absence is the obstacle that compels them to confront their inner reality, and in that confrontation lies potential for transformation. By facing the mirror, they are no longer shielded by the distractions of your presence. They must wrestle with the uncomfortable truth that they were perhaps negligent or inattentive, and that your withdrawal was not arbitrary, but a boundary set in defense of your dignity and peace. This moment can trigger an internal crisis or a breakthrough. Which path they choose is their own responsibility. For you, the lesson is clear. You hold your worth independent of their recognition or remorse. You demonstrate Stoic strength by maintaining your boundaries, not out of bitterness, but out of respect for yourself. Your absence, therefore, is both a shield and a beacon, protecting your energy while illuminating the path of accountability. As they stand before the mirror you offer, forced into self-reflection and reckoning, they are confronted with the consequences of their choices and neglect. This moment, though painful, is a pivotal juncture. It reveals not only their true feelings, but also their capacity for change. In Stoic relationships, this clarity is vital, for it separates genuine growth from superficial regret. Are they willing to grow, or will they remain trapped in denial? The mirror is unbiased. It only reflects. It asks no questions but demands answers. This truth is the cornerstone of why your absence holds such transformative power. It shifts the dynamic from dependence and complacency to awareness and accountability. It allows you to reclaim control over your emotional landscape while offering them a chance to confront their inner truths. Have you given yourself permission to step back in your relationships when respect and appreciation were absent? Have you trusted that your absence would not signify loss, but rather a necessary space for growth, both theirs and yours? This is the essence of Stoicism applied to relationships, recognizing what is within your control and what is not, and acting accordingly with courage and clarity. By facing the mirror of your absence, they may stumble, falter, or transform, but you remain steady, rooted in your values and your peace. This profound interplay of presence and absence, reflection and action is what gives depth and meaning to Stoic relationships. In allowing space, you do not lose power, you reclaim it. You invite truth to surface and create a fertile ground, where both parties can choose to evolve or accept the consequences of stagnation. This is not about forcing change, but holding a mirror until the truth can no longer be ignored. Such moments are rare and precious. They demand patience and resolve, but they also promise clarity and freedom. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. In this context, being a good partner or friend means knowing when to stay and when to step away, trusting that the mirror of absence will reveal what presence could not. Your step back is a powerful statement, that your value is not defined by their recognition, but by your own steady commitment to self-respect and peace. This mirror is their challenge and your victory. Have you ever experienced the profound silence that follows withdrawal? The weight of being faced with oneself without distraction? What did it teach you? How did it change your view of connection and respect? These questions linger because they are essential to the Stoic path of growth within relationships. They remind us that true strength lies not in clinging, but in knowing when to release. In that release, we find not loss, but liberation. This is the transformative power of giving space. It is a mirror reflecting truths too long hidden, a reckoning that shakes the foundations of complacency, and ultimately, a call to awaken. In this reflection, both parties confront what was real and what was illusion. Both are offered a chance to grow, but only one holds the power to choose when and how to engage moving forward. By facing the mirror, they face themselves. And you, having set the boundary, stand firm in the clarity and freedom of your choice. 2. Regret hits like a storm. When you give someone space and truly step away, the emotional aftershock they experience is often more intense and chaotic than you might expect. Regret does not arrive as a gentle whisper or a mild ache. It crashes in like a violent storm, sweeping through their mind and turning every memory, every forgotten kindness, every neglected moment into a whirlwind of raw, painful realization. Have you ever considered why regret is such a powerful force? It's because regret is not just about missing something. It's about the bitter knowledge that time has slipped away, that opportunities were wasted, and that the chance to make things right may have vanished forever. In the context of Stoic relationships, regret is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it is the harshest teacher, illuminating the errors of the past with unrelenting clarity, while on the other, it can be the heaviest burden, trapping a person in a cycle of sorrow and what-ifs that block growth and peace. What makes regret so unbearable is the truth that it arrives only after the moment for action has passed. The things left unsaid, the care withheld, the attention taken for granted, these accumulate silently until your absence creates a void so palpable it forces the mind to replay every interaction in vivid detail. This replay is relentless, like a stormy sea, tossing every regret to the surface in waves of shame, guilt, and sorrow. Imagine standing on a shoreline, watching the tide pull back the familiar, leaving behind only footprints that will soon be erased, symbolizing the vanishing. Chance to mend what was broken. How often have you seen someone only realize the value of your presence once you've disappeared? This realization is seldom peaceful. It comes with restless nights when memories become relentless echoes, when every familiar song, every shared space, every inside joke suddenly carries the weight of what can no longer be reached or reclaimed. In these moments, the person feels the full force of their neglect as a storm raging inside, shaking their certainty and forcing a confrontation with uncomfortable truths. Stoicism teaches us to accept what is outside our control and to act virtuously, within our power. Yet regret exposes the painful gap between ideal behavior and flawed human nature. They know what they should have done, but the regret is proof that they did not. How do they respond to this storm? Some may use regret as fuel for genuine change, examining their past mistakes with honesty and resolve, and making a conscious effort to grow emotionally and spiritually. These individuals understand that while they cannot rewrite history, they can shape their future with wiser, more deliberate actions. For them, regret is a catalyst for transformation. But others become trapped in the storm's relentless cycle, drowning in self-pity, resentment, or denial. They ruminate endlessly over what they lost, yet remain paralyzed by shame or unwilling to take responsibility. This stagnation is tragic because regret, when mismanaged, becomes a prison rather than a path. It's important to ask, which path will they choose? The storm of regret is unavoidable when your absence uncovers the truth of their neglect. They might replay conversations, scrutinize their own behavior, or even blame external factors in an attempt to avoid full accountability. But true stoicism demands facing reality, not escaping it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. You, by stepping away, have chosen peace over bitterness." They, left to their storm of regret, must decide whether to harness its power for growth or to be consumed by it. Regret is a teacher that does not care for excuses or justifications. It demands honesty. It strips away the illusion of permanence and forces the recognition that relationships, like all things, are fragile and must be cherished intentionally. When regret crashes in like a storm, it also strips away the false belief that time is unlimited. It confronts them with the sobering fact that the moments they took for granted are gone, irretrievable. Have you ever experienced this yourself? Not as the one withdrawing, but as the one left behind. How did regret shape your behavior? Did it lead to lasting change or endless lament? Reflecting on this can help us understand why stepping away is not abandonment, but a call to awaken. The storm of regret can break down defenses and reveal the depth of care they failed to show. Yet it also serves as a boundary. Regret alone does not guarantee forgiveness or reunion. You are not obligated to accept their sorrow or to rebuild what was broken without sincere effort and transformation. This distinction is crucial in Stoicism. Your worth and peace are not contingent on their regret or attempts to mend. They might feel overwhelmed by the storm of regret, yet your calm steadiness in absence is the contrast that highlights their turmoil. The power dynamic shifts. You no longer seek their approval or attention. Instead, You embody self-respect and control. How does this shift affect their internal storm? It intensifies the recognition of what was lost, fueling both remorse and the possibility of redemption. But redemption requires more than regret. It demands action, consistency, and humility. Can they face these demands? The storm of regret may push them toward that path, but it is their choice whether to pursue it or to remain adrift in sorrow. In this turbulent emotional landscape, you stand firm, anchored by stoicism, knowing that your decision to step back was not a failure, but an act of strength and wisdom. This boundary preserves your dignity and invites them to confront their own. Does this storm feel endless or transformative? The answer lies in their response to the inner turmoil your absence provokes. The storm hits hardest when they realize that no distraction or new pursuit can replace what they lost. The steady presence, unwavering support, and genuine care you provided. Attempts to fill the void with superficial replacements fall short, like trying to fill a deep well with sand. Have you ever noticed how regret can motivate desperate gestures? Messages sent late at night, tentative attempts to reconnect, or sudden interest in your life through mutual friends. These acts are manifestations of the storm-seeking calm, an effort to undo the damage caused by neglect. Yet, Stoicism reminds us that emotional responses are not obligations. Your peace and boundaries remain paramount. They may wish to calm the storm with promises, apologies, or grand gestures, but your role is to observe without losing yourself. Do they show genuine change or merely seek comfort for their guilt? This discernment is vital. The storm of regret also serves as a stark reminder that relationships require constant care and cannot survive on assumption or complacency. When you gave space, you exposed this truth. It is a test of character for both parties. How do they meet it? Are they broken by the storm or tempered by it? Your choice to step away was a declaration of your worth and the limits of your patience. Regret may rage within them, but it belongs to them alone. You have already found your calm, your clarity, and your peace. This is the essence of Stoicism in relationships, understanding that you control your mind, not outside events, and that your happiness depends on your own actions and choices, not the delayed realizations of others. Have you embraced this truth in your own relationships? Have you witnessed how regret, when left unchecked, can erode connection, or how, when accepted, it can spark growth? Recognizing this dynamic allows you to step back without guilt and with confidence. The storm of regret is inevitable, but your response to it defines your path forward. As you navigate this, remember the words of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By stepping away, you have set a powerful example of stoic strength and self-respect. The storm of regret they face is their journey. Your journey is one of freedom, resilience, and clarity. If you are finding value in this exploration of stoic relationships and the complex emotions triggered by giving space, please like and comment #1 to let me know you appreciate this content. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights that help you master your emotions, reclaim your peace, and build stronger, healthier connections grounded in Stoicism. Together, we grow stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. Stay tuned for the next part, where we'll explore how empty spaces and heavy hearts continue to shape the story when you give someone space. 3 empty spaces, heavy hearts. When you step away and give someone space, the physical absence you create is only the beginning of a deeper emotional and psychological shift that quietly unfolds within them. The empty space left behind is far from a mere void. It is a profound vacuum that unsettles the foundation of their daily life and forces them to grapple with the true weight of your presence. Have you ever noticed how we so often grow accustomed to the comfort of others, treating their steady presence like an unremarkable lamp glowing softly in the corner of a familiar room? It's always there, quietly lighting the space, and yet so easily overlooked, taken for granted as part of the background noise of life. But when that lamp suddenly goes dark, when your presence disappears without warning or explanation, the room feels colder, more hollow, and strangely unfamiliar. This is the paradox of human connection. The deeper the bond, the heavier the emptiness when it is severed. What does this emptiness mean to them? It is the first visceral sign that they have lost something vital, something far beyond casual acquaintance or fleeting companionship. They may not fully grasp it at first. Perhaps they reach for their phone, expecting the usual ping of your message, a small sign that you are still there, still thinking of them. When no message comes, they tell themselves it's no big deal. Maybe you're busy. Maybe it's just a day of silence. But as the hours stretch into days, the silence begins to swell, growing into an oppressive presence that is impossible to ignore. This growing emptiness exposes how much you filled their life with emotional stability, warmth, and quiet support, qualities they once took for granted. The absence of your steady presence disrupts their emotional equilibrium, leaving a void where comfort and reassurance used to reside. It is in this space that the heart begins to ache with a subtle but persistent heaviness. The weight of absence presses down, not with immediate drama, but with a slow, relentless force that unsettles their peace. Have you ever felt this yourself? That strange sensation of emptiness when someone important is gone. It is both a burden and a mirror. Burden because it highlights loss. Mirror because it reflects their own dependence on what you provided. They may try to fill the void with distractions, busyness, social media, new acquaintances. But these efforts are often superficial, failing to replace the unique connection you offered. This emptiness, in its raw form, strips away illusions of self-sufficiency and forces them to confront their own loneliness. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In the colorless vacuum left by your absence, their thoughts grow darker, more uncertain. The comfort they once found in your presence is replaced by a cold awareness of what is missing. This awakening can be disorienting, like walking into a room where all the familiar furniture has been rearranged or removed. They find themselves unsure where to sit, how to stand, how to navigate the day without the anchor you provided. This disorientation is a powerful emotional force. It forces reflection, regret, and sometimes despair. Questions rise unbidden. Was I too careless? Did I fail to appreciate what I had? Could I have held on tighter, been more present, or more loving? These questions do not come easily or gently. They strike like cold water, awakening awareness that had been dulled by complacency. The emptiness is not a punishment, but a stark teacher. It teaches that relationships, like all things in life, require care, attention, and gratitude. This is a truth deeply woven into Stoicism, the recognition that everything we have is fleeting, and appreciation arises not from possession, but from mindfulness of impermanence. Your absence forces them to face this reality. There is no place to hide from the truth of what they lost. In moments of quiet solitude, late at night, or in the stillness of a slow afternoon, they may replay memories of your shared laughter, your kindness, your unwavering presence during their darkest moments. Each memory feels like a precious relic, simultaneously beautiful and painful, because it can no longer be summoned at will. It existed only in the unique space created by your willingness to be there. Now that you have stepped away, they are left to navigate a world that suddenly feels colder and lonelier. This emotional landscape is both a burden and an opportunity. It burdens them with the weight of loss and regret, but it also offers a rare chance for growth and self-awareness. they begin to see that your presence was not just a convenience or an expectation, but a genuine blessing they failed to fully recognize. This realization can inspire humility and gratitude, or it can breed bitterness and denial. The choice rests with them. In Stoic relationships, the recognition of impermanence and the cultivation of gratitude are fundamental. By creating space, you invite them to awaken from complacency and to appreciate what they once overlooked. But space also invites silence, a silence that echoes with questions they must answer alone. Is it too late to change? Was I the cause of this loss? Could I have done better? These questions are uncomfortable but necessary. They strip away distractions and force a confrontation with reality. The emptiness you leave is not passive, it is active, pressing them to reckon with their own behavior and choices. How will they respond? Will they learn to cherish connection and treat it as the fragile gift it is? Or will they retreat into excuses and denial, letting the emptiness harden into resignation? Your choice to step away is a profound statement of self-respect and Stoic wisdom. It declares that your worth is not dependent on their recognition or appreciation. It acknowledges that connection must be mutual, nurtured by both parties, or it will wither. This is the delicate balance of Stoic relationships, honoring your own value while holding space for others to grow or fall away. The heavy hearts they carry in your absence are a testament to the impact you made in their lives. The emptiness you create is not emptiness in the abstract. It is a living, breathing presence that confronts them daily. It reminds them of what was lost and what could have been saved. It presses them toward reflection, repentance, or renewed commitment. Yet, you do not owe them your return or forgiveness. Your presence is a gift, not an obligation. Your decision to create space was an act of courage and clarity, grounded in Stoicism's call to prioritize peace, virtue, and self-mastery. The emptiness they feel is the natural consequence of taking for granted what was never guaranteed. It is a powerful, emotional signal that reverberates through the fabric of their daily existence. How will they respond to this signal? Will they learn from it, or will it become a silent wound that festers? The answer remains uncertain, but the lesson is clear. Connection requires awareness, effort, and appreciation, and when these are absent, space must be created for truth to surface. You have set this truth in motion by stepping away, creating room for both of you to see what was hidden in the noise of constant presence. Have you ever felt this emptiness yourself, either as the one who leaves or the one left behind? How did it change your view of the relationship? Did it bring clarity or confusion? These questions linger because they are the essence of growth in Stoic relationships. The emptiness you create is not an end, but a threshold, a passage from complacency to consciousness, from taking for granted to honoring. It is the silent force that compels them to reckon with what they lost and consider what they must do next. This process is neither swift nor easy. It is slow and sometimes painful, yet it is necessary. In this silence, heavy hearts beat with the echoes of what was and the faint hope of what might yet be. The power to bridge the emptiness lies not with you, but with them. Your role is to hold your peace, honor your boundaries, and trust that space and silence reveal truths that words often cannot. This is the essence of Stoicism applied to relationships, the courage to create distance when it is needed, the wisdom to accept what is beyond your control, and the grace to remain steady amidst uncertainty. By creating empty spaces, you allow hearts to feel their own weight, and in that feeling, perhaps find the way back to genuine connection, or the strength to walk forward apart. Either way, your clarity remains unshaken. Your peace remains intact. This is the Stoic path, to act with intention, to accept with equanimity, and to live with integrity. The heavy hearts left in your absence carry a message, one that echoes the eternal truth that presence must be earned, cherished, and reciprocated. This message resounds through the silent spaces you create and through the enduring strength you embody. It is a call to awaken, to appreciate, and ultimately to grow. 4. Curiosity shatters the calm. When you disappear from someone's life, the silence you leave behind does not merely represent a physical absence. It ignites an internal force that quickly shatters the calm they once took for granted. Curiosity emerges, unrelenting, insistent, and profound. Have you ever noticed how mystery can captivate the human mind more deeply than certainty? When your presence was constant, they may have assumed they knew everything about you. The patterns, the routines, the small habits that made you who you are. But your sudden withdrawal turns that assumed knowledge into a locked door in an old mansion, one without a key. This absence transforms the familiar into the unknown. They begin asking questions they never dared to consider when you were near. Where did you go? What are you doing? Why would you leave? These questions do not remain quiet. They echo relentlessly. In the quiet moments of the day, in the restless hours of the night, and in every unexpected pause where their mind returns time and again to you. Curiosity becomes a drumbeat, steady and unavoidable, a psychological tide pulling their thoughts toward you even when they try to resist. This curiosity is not mere nosiness. It is an emotional and cognitive upheaval, forcing them to reevaluate everything they assumed about your relationship. They scan old messages, searching for clues missed in the rush of everyday life. Was there a change in tone, a subtle hint in your words that something was amiss? Why did they not see the signs before? The mind becomes a detective, piecing together fragments of conversation, trying to unlock the mystery of your absence. This investigation is both painful and compelling. It fuels a mixture of regret and fascination. How could they have overlooked what was right in front of them? How could the certainty they felt crumble into doubt and yearning so quickly? This is the paradox of human nature. Certainty breeds complacency, but uncertainty awakens desire. Curiosity is a potent emotional force precisely because it is a response to loss and the unknown. They crave answers because uncertainty is uncomfortable, threatening their sense of control. The more you remain absent, the louder this internal dialogue grows, often driving them to behaviors that might surprise even themselves. Checking your social media repeatedly, hoping for a glimpse of your life without them. Asking mutual friends subtle questions to gather information, or even orchestrating coincidental encounters at places they know you frequent. Each move is an attempt to regain control over a situation that now feels uncontrollable. But, as Stoicism teaches, control over external events is an illusion. Real power lies in governing one's own mind and actions. Yet the restless curiosity they experience reflects a deep emotional truth. They recognize, perhaps for the first time, that your presence mattered more than they admitted. This awareness is uncomfortable because it exposes their own neglect and the fragility of their assumptions. Curiosity, in this way, becomes a silent confessor, revealing the depth of feelings they may have buried beneath indifference or distraction. It pushes them toward reflection, but it also breeds anxiety. The desire to know more becomes a double-edged sword, both enlightening and tormenting. They wonder, are you thriving without them? Have you moved on to new relationships or passions? Where they have no place, these imagined scenarios can fuel jealousy, fear, and desperation. It is the mind's way of grappling with loss by creating stories to fill the void. This mental whirlwind is exhausting and relentless, yet it is a sign of emotional investment that cannot be easily erased. In Stoic relationships, understanding this curiosity is crucial. It is not manipulation or game playing. It is a natural response to a profound emotional shift. You have removed your energy from a space that no longer valued it, forcing them to reckon with what they ignored. Your absence is like taking down a vibrant painting from a familiar wall. Only then does the blank space scream with meaning. The silence you leave behind speaks volumes, louder than any argument or plea. It demands that they face their own shortcomings, their inattentiveness, and the misplaced confidence they held in believing they understood you fully. Questions swirl in their mind. Was I the cause of this distance? Did I fail to reciprocate the care they showed? Could I have changed the outcome? These inquiries are uncomfortable but necessary. They pull them from complacency into a painful but potentially transformative self-examination. This curiosity, fueled by absence, can ignite a longing for redemption, but it can also lead to denial or despair. The path they take depends on their willingness to embrace discomfort and grow. Your choice to step away was not passive, but a deliberate act of self-preservation and clarity. By doing so, you allowed the mystery to unfold naturally, giving them space to recognize what they lost. This space does not guarantee reconciliation, but it creates the conditions for honest reckoning. How will you respond if curiosity turns into action? Will you welcome them back with clear boundaries, or will you remain firm in your peace? Stoicism teaches us that our worth does not depend on the reactions of others, but on our own integrity and self-respect. This internal curiosity they experience is a reflection of your impact. It is a silent testimony to the value you brought to their life. Have you noticed how absence often sharpens desire? How mystery makes the heart more attentive? These are timeless truths, echoed in Stoic relationships, where presence is valued precisely because it is not guaranteed. If you are finding this journey into the emotional effects of giving space valuable, please like and comment number 1 if you appreciate this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights that deepen your understanding of Stoicism and how it applies to relationships. Together, we navigate these complex dynamics with clarity and strength. Stay tuned for the next part, where we will explore how facing the mirror leads to a reckoning unlike any other. 5. The urge to pursue you. When you give someone space and step away from the relationship, one of the most profound and revealing emotional responses you will observe is the sudden and often overwhelming urge they feel to pursue you. This urge is not merely a reaction to physical absence, but a deep psychological impulse ignited by the void your withdrawal creates. It is a magnetic pull that stirs memories, emotions, and long-suppressed desires to reconnect, to reclaim what seems lost. Have you ever witnessed or felt this yourself? How the absence of someone familiar can awaken a yearning that surprises even the person experiencing it. This urge is the natural response to the shattering of complacency and certainty. When your presence was constant, they may have drifted through days and conversations without truly recognizing your value. They took for granted the easy access to your attention and care, assuming your loyalty was a given. Yet, when you vanish, when you truly disappear, they confront a void that echoes louder than words ever could. The urge to pursue you rises. From that echo, a primal desire to restore balance and recover the connection that once felt effortless. Stoicism teaches us that much of human suffering stems from attachment and the illusion of permanence. This urge is a vivid example of how attachment reveals itself through longing sparked by loss. But the urge to pursue is not merely emotional, it also represents a shift in power dynamics. Where once you may have been the one always reaching, out making plans and reassuring their doubts. Now you have receded into the background, leaving them with the burden of absence and uncertainty. The tables have turned. This role reversal is disorienting and uncomfortable, forcing them to confront their feelings with greater urgency. They begin to notice how much they relied on your presence, how your care filled spaces they never acknowledged. Memories flood back, the late-night conversations, the effortless laughter, the moments when you were a steady source of comfort and encouragement. These recollections fuel the urge, transforming nostalgia into a compelling force that drives them to seek you out. In newer or more superficial connections, this urge may manifest as subtle digital breadcrumbs, likes on social media, brief messages, or attempts to appear casually in places they know you frequent. These tentative moves reveal an internal struggle, a desire to reconnect paired with fear of rejection or further absence. But in deeper, more meaningful relationships, the urge to pursue is a powerful tide that swells with intensity. It carries with it hope, regret, and a desperate wish to make things right before it is too late. This pursuit is often accompanied by an internal dialogue, questions racing through their mind about your happiness, your whereabouts, and your willingness to re-engage. The uncertainty fuels both anxiety and determination. They wonder, have you moved on? Are you better off without me? Do you even remember what we had? This cascade of thoughts reflects the tension between their desire to reclaim your attention and the fear of losing you permanently. The Stoic perspective invites us to consider this urge not as manipulation or desperation, but as an authentic, human response to loss and change. It is a moment of reckoning, a crossroads where they face their own neglect and the consequences of their actions. The urge to pursue you is, in many ways, a plea for recognition, a wish to be seen again, to be valued not just in absence but in presence. However, it is crucial to recognize that this urge does not guarantee genuine transformation or commitment. It can be motivated by fear, loneliness, or the desire to restore a familiar pattern rather than true growth. As a practitioner of Stoicism and self-respect, your role is to observe this urge with clarity and discernment. You must ask yourself, is this pursuit sincere? Does it reflect real change, or is it a reaction to loss and fear? Are you willing to respond, or is it an invitation to revisit old dynamics that no longer serve your peace? Your boundaries and values remain paramount. The urge to pursue you is not an obligation to return or forgive, but an opportunity to assess what is truly best for your well-being. This dynamic highlights the power of absence in shifting relational roles. By stepping away, you become the gatekeeper of your emotional energy, reclaiming control that may have been lost in imbalance. Your withdrawal compels them to acknowledge the depth of your value, something they might have overlooked when you were always present. This realization can be humbling and motivating. They may attempt bold gestures or heartfelt apologies, seeking to demonstrate their remorse and desire for reconnection. Yet Stoicism teaches us that actions, not words, reveal true character. Genuine pursuit requires consistent effort, visible change, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths about past neglect. Have you witnessed this yourself? The difference between hollow promises and meaningful transformation. The urge to pursue you also reveals the fundamental human need for connection and validation. It underscores how much your presence contributed to their emotional stability and happiness. Your withdrawal disrupts this equilibrium, sparking a natural urge to restore it. Yet this disruption is necessary. It breaks cycles of complacency and neglect, forcing all parties to reconsider their roles and contributions. The Stoic ideal encourages us to embrace this disruption as a path to growth rather than a crisis to be feared. The urge to pursue you is both a challenge and an invitation, an invitation to reconsider what is truly valuable in connection and to cultivate relationships rooted in mutual respect and intentionality. It compels reflection on past behaviors and motivates steps toward improvement. However, your response must be measured and aligned with your own peace and principles. The power to accept or decline this pursuit rests entirely with you. You hold the keys to your emotional gates, deciding whether to open the door slightly, fully, or not at all. This choice embodies the Stoic practice of distinguishing between what is within your control and what is not. Your worth is not contingent on their realization or attempts to reclaim you, but on your own consistent commitment to self-respect and growth. In this light, the urge to pursue you becomes a mirror reflecting their awareness and desires, but not a mandate for your action. You may find yourself asking, how do I balance compassion with self-preservation? How do I honor their growth while protecting my peace? These questions are central to practicing Stoicism in relationships. The urge to pursue you often stirs intense emotions, hope, fear, longing, regret. But your response, grounded in reason and clarity, ensures that your boundaries remain intact. This dynamic also teaches a profound lesson about the nature of love and attachment. True connection thrives not on neediness or desperation, but on mutual respect and freedom. The urge to pursue you is a test of whether the relationship can evolve beyond dependence to a healthier, more balanced form. Have you experienced this transformation in your own life? The shift from seeking validation to embodying self-worth? The urge to pursue is a natural human response to your absence, but your reaction defines the path forward. In Stoic relationships, presence and absence dance in rhythm, shaping growth and understanding. Your choice to step away creates space for this dance to unfold authentically. It reveals what was overlooked and invites new possibilities grounded in respect and clarity. This is the power and promise of giving space. It is not abandonment, but an act of courage and wisdom. It invites reflection, reveals true feelings, and offers a chance for genuine change. The urge to pursue you is a testament to your value and the impact of your presence. It is a reminder that connection must be nurtured and that absence, when wielded wisely, can be a catalyst for growth. As you navigate this dynamic, hold fast to your Stoic principles. Recognize that your peace and self-respect are paramount. Let the urge to pursue you be a signal, not a summons, to revisit old patterns without discernment. Instead, choose growth, boundaries, and intentional connection. This path leads to healthier, more fulfilling relationships grounded in mutual respect and understanding. Have you noticed how stepping away often sparks this pursuit? How it shifts the dynamic from complacency to awareness? Reflect on your experiences and consider how you might apply these Stoic insights to cultivate relationships that honor your worth and foster true connection. The urge to pursue you is not a burden, but an opportunity, a chance to rewrite the story with clarity and intention. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your absence is that impediment, and their pursuit is the path it creates. How you walk that path is your choice. This choice defines your strength, your peace, and your capacity for authentic connection. The urge to pursue you is powerful, but so is your power to respond wisely. 6. Chasing second chances, the desire for redemption. When you give someone space and step away, something profound often unfolds in their emotional landscape, a deep and urgent desire for redemption. This desire is not merely a fleeting wish to reconnect, but a powerful craving to rewrite their story, to prove that they are capable of becoming someone better, worthy of the connection they lost. Have you ever noticed how regret, once it settles in, can transform into a relentless pursuit of forgiveness and restoration? This pursuit is the natural progression from regret's storm, a move from sorrow to action, from loss to hope. In the realm of Stoic relationships, redemption is both a test and a journey, one that requires more than words. It demands genuine reflection, visible change, and the courage to confront uncomfortable truths about oneself. The person chasing a second chance is often standing at the closed gates of a garden they once freely entered. Familiar, beautiful, and warm. Now, locked. Out they long to return, to feel that peace and connection again. This longing might begin subtly. A tentative message, a cautious inquiry, a gentle attempt to gauge whether the gates might reopen, even just a crack. But as silence or rejection persists, their longing intensifies, fueled by desperation and the fear of permanent loss. They wonder, can I show I've changed? Can I earn forgiveness? Is there still a chance to prove I'm different now? These questions swirl in their mind, shaping their actions and words. However, the Stoic truth stands firm. Redemption is not given lightly, nor is it something owed simply because of apologies or promises. True redemption is earned through consistent actions, not empty words. It requires humility, accountability, and a willingness to face the hardest parts of oneself. Have you seen the difference between hollow promises and genuine transformation? The latter is rare and requires sustained effort over time. The desire for redemption exposes the deep human need for connection and acceptance, but also challenges the recipient to discern sincerity from performance. Your role in this dynamic is complex yet clear. While their desire for redemption might seem urgent and compelling, your choice to grant forgiveness or welcome them back is entirely yours. Stoicism teaches us that our peace and boundaries are not contingent on others' remorse or efforts. You may recognize their growth, but you are under no obligation to reopen doors that risk your well-being. This power to decide is a sacred aspect of self-respect and emotional sovereignty. The pursuit of redemption also reveals the profound cost of neglect and complacency in relationships. It underscores how easily trust can be broken and how painstakingly it must be rebuilt. The proverb that trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair holds true in these moments. Have you reflected on how your own actions may have contributed to such breaches? The desire for redemption is a mirror reflecting not just their regrets, but also the responsibilities shared in any connection. This reflection can be painful but necessary for growth and healing. The longing to redeem oneself often motivates acts of vulnerability and honesty, expressions of remorse that go beyond surface apologies to deep acknowledgement of past wrongs. Such openness is essential for any meaningful reconciliation. Yet, it is equally important to remember that your acceptance of redemption must be measured and wise. Forgiveness is a gift, not a guarantee, and it must be extended only when it aligns with your values and emotional safety. In Stoicism, this discernment is crucial. Your peace is your highest priority, and protecting it is an act of courage and wisdom. The desire for redemption, then, becomes a test of character for both parties. For the pursuer, it demands genuine change and accountability. For you, it requires clarity, strength, and the ability to hold firm boundaries. This dynamic embodies the Stoic balance between compassion and self-preservation. Have you ever struggled with the tension between offering forgiveness and protecting your peace? This struggle is a common human experience, and navigating it well is a mark of emotional maturity. Your decision to step away originally was an assertion of your worth and dignity. Now, as they chase redemption, you have the opportunity to reaffirm, those values by choosing wisely. It is not weakness to withhold forgiveness. It is strength to honor your journey and your healing process. The path of redemption is not linear. Some may sincerely transform and sustain change, becoming more aware, intentional, and respectful partners. Others may revert to old patterns, seeking redemption as a means to alleviate guilt rather than to genuinely grow. This distinction is vital in deciding how to respond. The journey of redemption also invites reflection on the nature of trust and second chances. Stoicism teaches that every action has consequences, and while growth is always possible, it is not guaranteed. Rebuilding trust requires time, patience, and consistent demonstration of change. Are you willing to invest in that process? Are you prepared to protect your peace, even if that means walking away again? These questions honor your sovereignty and ensure that reconciliation, if it occurs, is rooted in authenticity and respect. Meanwhile, the person seeking redemption confronts their own challenges. They must move beyond regret and desire to sustained effort and accountability. Redemption demands facing uncomfortable truths about their behavior, motivations, and patterns. It is a journey of self-discovery as much as reconciliation. The desire to redeem oneself is a powerful motivator, but one that must be accompanied by humility and persistence. The Stoic mindset encourages embracing this challenge as an opportunity for growth rather than a burden. As they pursue redemption, they also learn that your forgiveness, while precious, is not a prize to be won, but a gift to be respected. This perspective shifts the dynamic from entitlement to gratitude, fostering healthier connections. Have you considered how your response to their redemption efforts influences their growth? Your clarity and boundaries provide a framework for genuine transformation. In embracing this role, you embody Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. You create a space where change can be nurtured but not demanded. The desire for redemption highlights the profound emotional consequences of your absence and the powerful human need for connection and validation. Yet, it also reveals the complexity of relationships, how past wounds, trust, and growth intertwine in intricate patterns. Your choice to engage or remain detached shapes the future of this connection. Stoicism reminds us that we have power over our minds, not external events. Your peace depends on your actions and attitudes, not on the timing or sincerity of others. As you navigate the pursuit of redemption, hold firm to this truth. Let it guide your decisions and protect your well-being. Have you experienced moments where someone sought a second chance? How did you respond? What lessons did you learn about forgiveness, trust, and boundaries? Reflecting on these experiences deepens your understanding of Stoic relationships and your own values. The desire for redemption is a potent force, but so is your power to choose how to respond. This power is the cornerstone of your freedom and peace. By holding your boundaries and acting with wisdom, you honor your journey and the growth you have cultivated. The pursuit of redemption, when met with clarity and strength, can transform not only the relationship, but also your sense of self. It becomes a testament to your commitment to authenticity, self-respect, and emotional mastery. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your strength lies in recognizing this power and exercising it with grace. The path of chasing second chances is fraught with emotion and complexity. It challenges assumptions, exposes vulnerabilities, and invites growth. Whether you open the door to redemption or keep it closed, your choice is an act of self-care and Stoic wisdom. It signals your commitment to peace, clarity, and authentic connection. This choice defines your journey and shapes your relationships. If you find value in this exploration of Stoic relationships and the dynamics of redemption, please like and comment number 1 to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights that empower you to cultivate peace, self-respect, and meaningful connections. Together we continue the journey toward growth and wisdom in all aspects of life. In closing, the 6 powerful emotions that arise when you give someone space: facing the mirror, regret hitting like a storm, empty spaces heavy with heartache, curiosity shattering the calm, the urge to pursue, and the desperate chase for redemption are not simply reactions to absence, but profound invitations to truth, growth, and transformation. Each feeling exposes hidden realities about value, presence, and self-awareness that often remain obscured in the comfort of routine and familiarity. In the practice of Stoicism, these moments of disruption become the crucibles in which both individuals are tested and tempered. The choice to step away is not an act of abandonment, but a declaration of self-respect and personal sovereignty. It creates space, not just physical but emotional and psychological, for others to confront their own patterns, to wrestle with uncomfortable truths, and to either rise to the challenge of growth or remain bound by old habits. Remember that the power to engage, to forgive, to reconnect, or to remain apart always rests with you. Your worth is independent of their recognition or remorse. This is the essence of Stoic relationships: holding firm to your values, practicing boundaries with compassion, and embracing the impermanence of all things without bitterness. The absence you create is a silent teacher, its lessons difficult, but necessary for deeper understanding and healthier connections. As you reflect on these 6 responses, consider how they mirror your own experiences and relationships. Are you willing to face the discomfort of absence as a path to clarity? Can you embrace the strength to step back, not out of anger or spite, but out of love for yourself and the commitment to live authentically? The journey through these emotions is not easy, but it is transformative. It offers the opportunity to reclaim your peace, cultivate genuine respect, and foster connections that honor both your boundaries and your value. Ultimately, this process is a testament to the enduring wisdom of Stoicism, that while we cannot control others, we can master our own minds, actions, and choices. By doing so, we not only protect our own well-being, but inspire growth and accountability in those who matter. The space you give is a gift for yourself and for them. It is a space where true appreciation, change, and healing may begin. Embrace this journey with courage and clarity. Trust that in stepping away, you have not lost but gained the freedom to live aligned with your principles and the power to choose relationships that nourish your soul. This is the strength and serenity found in Stoicism, guiding you toward a life of resilience, wisdom, and profound peace.